Mythology. That's today's episode. I didn't do my research. Orpheus and Eurydice.
Okay. I figured.
There is a musical inspired by that called Hades Town, and it's a good musical. But Orpheus and Eurydice is a Greek tragedy. This is the swag ass.
Oh, yeah.
Episode 11.
Damn.
We're into the double digits. Well, technically we were last episode.
But
now we're like,
now.
We're a tween. Well,
I'm gray.
Jesus. I'm Cha0tic Zone.
That's Ultra.
I'm Ultra. I'm not drinking an Ultra, man. Missed opportunity.
Orpheus and Eurydice. Greek tragedy. You know, It's sad. It doesn't have a happy ending.
Are they baby sequels?
I'm not 100% sure on some of the details, but you have Orpheus and Eurydice. I'm partially going off of what my brain knows from Hades Town. So if it's slightly wrong, that is why. They get mixed up sometimes. Orpheus is, I believe, son of a muse. So he'd be doing music and stuff. And Eurydice, she's like, woman, she's kind of on her own. She's a little traveler. Because, Hades and Persephone, they're maybe beefing a little bit. Like, Hades just keeps wanting to have her.
In the podcast.
Hades just keeps wanting to have her be in the underworld. And so, spring and, like, fall are just, like, gone. So it just goes from, like, summer hot to, oh my god, it's cold.
Damn.
And so that's how Orpheus and Eurydice meet. Because Eurydice is like, I'm just trying to I'm just trying to survive and shit. And then Orpheus is like, I'm a singer. I'm trying to bring back the balance of everything. And I've got this little song that can bring this back. This might just be part of Hades Town and not part of the actual mythology. Yeah. And so, yeah, and then it's what? I think Eurydice goes off to, like, do something. And then, like... Eurydice goes off to, like, do something. Her and Orpheus separate. And suddenly, girl is surrounded by, like, vultures and, like, snakes.
Look at the baby
and,
sequel.
like, vipers and stuff.
Fuck?
Bro's like...
Why does he look like that?
Bro's hunkered down. Anyways, Eurydice gets, like, surrounded by, like, all these different, like, animals, and then she dies. And so then Hades is like, ooh, you're in the underworld now. This is where things get a little hazy for me, because I know in the musical, she doesn't technically die, but in the actual myth, she's, like, actually just dies. And so Hades is like, ooh, you're in the underworld now. And Orpheus is like, where'd my girlfriend go? Where is she? And he finds out, she's dead and she's in the underworld. So now he's gonna go save her. He's gonna go in the underworld.
This reminds me of the Book of Life. Where
he goes into the underworld and he finds her. He's like, my wife! Also where it gets hazy, where the lines blur between Greek mythology and the Hades Town rendition. But Hades is like, I'll offer you a deal. I'll let her out under one condition. You both have to, you both gotta walk out of here. But she walks behind you, and you cannot turn around. If you turn around, she comes right back here. And she's still dead. And they make that deal. And they go, okay. And they start walking. and everything. And bro starts getting real, like, bro, he's like, oh my god, what if she's not behind me? I don't know. What if she's not behind me? And then guess what he does?
Turns around.
He turns around.
Bro. Anyway.
And she's right there.
Where the
And
fuck did you get an apple juice from?
Orpheus turns around and there she is, and now she's gone, and then it does, we don't know what happens to Orpheus.
Where
But,
the fuck did you get that?
That's the tale of Orpheus and Eurydice.
And I pulled it out. Anyways, and it reminds me of the Book of Life because it's like, Maria, and I forgot what the other dude's name is. But, she gets bit by a snake.
We're not talking about the Book of Life. We're talking about Greek mythology.
No, but it goes parallel because he wants to meet her again, so he goes to the underworld to see her.
What do you got before I start just going into, like, at least 2 other things I can talk about?
The only thing that
Oh,
he almost spilt it everywhere.
I know.
The only thing that I have written down that I ripped in half by accident, is Midas. Right?
Yeah.
I'm saying that right?
Yeah.
Delusional. Which, like, basically everything he touches, he turns to gold. It's called the Midas touch.
Bro got greedy.
Yeah, he got a little bit too greedy.
That was his hubris, is that he was greedy.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, there's, like, 2 different endings. I don't know why I only wrote down the endings.
Wow.
But, like, basically, it's literally, like, everything he touches turns to gold.
Yeah. Literally everything.
Like, I don't know why he did it.
Because he was greedy.
Because he was, like, I don't remember, like, how that happened. But, like,
He wanted to be rich.
Yeah.
I have the ending. And, one of them is he was eating food. Like, him and, like, his servants, they were eating. And he realized that everything he touched literally turned to gold. So, like, all of his food turned to gold. And, like, he just couldn't eat or drink shit.
That's when you go, peasant, feed me.
Say that.
Which, like, yeah, I don't know why he didn't think of that. That's such a smart idea. But in both of the different, like, tellings that I read, he starves to death.
Yeah.
He, like, because, like, he just turns everything to gold and he just can't fucking eat because he's dumb. And then another one, his
Just
daughter...
use your feet.
He's still touching it, dumbass.
Okay, but if we're talking about that, if we're going on that route, does that mean even if someone did try to feed him because it is still technically touching him?
I think so.
That would make sense.
And then another telling of it, his daughter came up to him for, like, comfort because she was sad because her flowers were dying and they were stiff and they didn't smell anymore, and so she was sad and crying. And so he goes to, like, comfort her, and he, like, puts his hand on her shoulder and she turns to gold.
Now,
And so then he prays to Dionysus, and he's like,
of course, Dionysus.
I know a way to reverse that shit if you need to. And he's like, yes, I need to. My daughter is gold right now. And he's like, okay, so go to this river. I don't remember what the river's called.
There's like 5 different rivers in Greek mythology.
He's like, go to this river, bathe in it, and then after you bathe in it, everything you put in the river will reverse.
Oh, I feel like I should know the name of that river.
I don't remember.
I feel like I should know it.
I'm thirsty.
And so he's like, okay, so then he goes to bathe in it, but like the second he touches the water, it turns to gold, and then everything turns to gold.
Oh my lord.
The water, the plants around it, the sand, everything that, like, the water is touching turns to gold. And then, you know, like, obviously he can't eat or anything, so then he starves.
Bruh.
That's it.
Apollo. And Hyacinthus. There's this dude named Hyacinthus. Also, got another Greek tragedy. And that's a very common thing. And Apollo is like, oh, I like this man. I like this man. Problem is, I think, oh my god, I forget the guy's name. It was like,
I feel sick.
the west wind or something. Some kind of wind. Some wind god was like, I also like this man. And so they were kind of beefing it out. Apollo and this other god are like kind of beefing it out for this dude.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day, Apollo and this dude, they're playing like with some discs. They're going, ooh, playing some discs. And this god is kind of like, well, if I can't have him, no one can. And sends the disc the other way. And bro, like, gets hit with the disc and dies. And then Apollo's like, oh my god, he's dying. And turns him into a flower, which is why we have the hyacinth flowers. Apollo tends to have a history of lovers getting turned into plants.
What?
Anyways, I'm gonna talk about sirens and how, you know, sirens. People, when you hear that, you think of, evil mermaids. Oh my god, do you think that's why they're called that? Why the wee wee was called that? Because it's like, oh, you get lured in by the sound.
Probably.
Oh my god, that's so smart.
Anyways, in Greek mythology, they're not actually mermaids like people like think.
Isn't it like some bird shit?
It is, yes. Think of a massive bird, but with a lady's head.
Oh.
That is a siren in Greek mythology. If you're reading anything that's Greek mythology and it brings up the siren, it's not a pretty mermaid. It is a massive bird with a woman's head. That's my siren call. Anyways, can we talk about Hera threw Hephaestus off a mountain because he was too ugly?
Yeah, that's kind of fucked.
Girl's like, this is my child. She's like, this is my child. You're ugly. Off a mountain you go. Anyways, we were talking about how Hera threw Hephaestus off a mountain. What's your guys' favorite Greek deity?
I don't know. I don't really have one.
I can't really pick a favorite, but
The taco.
I have some ones that I, quite enjoy. Mm-hmm. I like Athena, Dionysus, Apollo.
Yes.
Artemis is pretty swag. Aphrodite is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. All I can think of is Zeus.
The big boy.
The other dude. I don't know his name.
That's so helpful.
What?
Water.
Poseidon?
Yes.
Poseidon's chill.
Can we talk about the fact that Apollo isn't just, like, music and stuff? Bro also can, like, give you the plague.
God damn.
Bro can just be like, I don't like you, here's the bubonic plague. Icarus flew too close to his sun. Bro was, like, trapped in a maze with his dad. And then his dad was like, or maybe it was his uncle. Some family person was like, I made these wings.
They were imprisoned or something.
The labyrinth. That's what it was.
And so it was him and his dad, and they were like, they made wings so they could escape.
Because there was this king that was like making them make this labyrinth, and then they were like, I gotta get out. But we only got like one pair. Icarus, you get out. And then and his dad was like, don't fly too close to the sun, or the wax on the wings is gonna melt. And then bro
flew too close to the
goes
sun.
out, and then he flies too close to the sun, and then he goes womp.
That reminds me of the one episode of My Little Pony.
I was thinking about that. Where Rarity has like the dewdrop wings, and then they're like, yeah, just like
don't go too close to the sun.
Like, be careful. They could just, and then she like goes up and like the sun. And then, oh my god, there's another one of Apollo's lovers that got turned into a plant. I think her name was like Daphne or something. And and he was like, oh, you're kind of pretty, you're a pretty woman. And she was kind of like, no thanks. And bro was like, woman. And she was like, no. And so then she like turned herself into a tree to avoid him.
I have a thing I can talk about.
What do you want to talk about?
Arachne?
Yeah.
Something like that.
She challenged Athena.
She was somewhere, and then she's like, yeah, I'm the greatest weaver, blah, 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 blah. And then Athena's like, no the fuck you're not, I am. And so then they have a competition, and then Athena wins, or like, she wins or something. Anyway, Athena gets pissed and turns her into a spider. And then she's like, if you're the greatest weaver, you can weave for the rest of your life.
Well, they have like a competition or something,
Yeah, they did.
and then she loses, like Athena wins, and then they're like, well, you go, you're Spider now.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
You know Odyssey.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean I pay attention during in class.
Do you know like the basic story?
What do you know about the Odyssey?
The giant with the one eye.
Oh,
Cyclops.
the Cyclops?
Yeah,
That's cool.
that's all I remember.
That was funny. Oh my gosh, yeah, that came to bite him in the ass because he was like, yeah, because like didn't Odysseus like tell him? No, he told him that he was nobody, and then he went to go tell other people about it.
He's like, nobody hurt me.
Nobody stabbed me in the eye. Nobody, or like whatever he said. And then they're like, the fuck are you talking about? Who the fuck are you? Like, what do you mean nobody? Who did it then?
What? Do you just trip and fall?
Yeah, because no one believed him, because they're like, what do you mean nobody? Okay, well, we're just gonna ignore you then. So then they could like escape. And it wasn't like when they were escaping, bro, it was like, I'm Odysseus.
Yeah, man's fucked up and said his name, like for realsies.
Yeah.
Like literally, they were on the boat getting ready to leave, and
Bro, I was
he's
like, get punked. I'm Odysseus.
"I'm not nobody."
Greek mythology, everybody be talking about like the deities and stuff. What about all the silly little creatures? What about the satyrs that have goat legs and human tops? Like, what about those? They're kind of cool. Or like druid, the like little, what are they called? Dryads. And they're like, that tree could be a dryad that could just turn into a little spirit. That's like, hello. And like, I think they're so cool. And all that, and like those little like river druids and stuff. Dryads. I think they're technically like dryads. Druids and dryads are different, I think. But there's so many silly little creatures in Greek mythology that are like, oh my god, that's cool. And then you got the big ones that are like Cyclops.
I don't know why, but my parents was like, the fucking.
Wasn't it where the siren? There was like some sirens, and like memory. I don't know.
Fuck are you talking
I'm pretty
about?
sure they mentioned sirens in the Odyssey.
They do, because he's like, yeah, when we go by here, there's gonna be sirens. So
Oh yeah.
then
So
he
plug
uses
your
like
ears.
their earwax or whatever to plug his ears, because it's like the guy that steered. No,
Yeah.
they all plugged their ears with
Except for
wax.
him.
Except
He
for
wanted
him,
to hear it.
because he wanted to hear them, so he had them tie him
To the like the mass.
to the mass of it, and he's like, no matter what I say, no matter what I do, don't untie me.
And then it's like, now I think about it, and I'm like, those are actually just bird ladies.
And then he's
Bird
like,
boobs.
it's like, ooh. And then like,
Why'd you say ooh at that? Why'd you ooh at bird boobs? Like chicken breasts? Like, that's tasty. Yummy chicken breast.
ew.
But you go ooh the bird boobs.
Well, 'cause I was thinking, I was
Fucking
still thinking,
Spider-Man.
I was thinking,
What, you were thinking about
women.
boobs?
You think about women?
I was,
Spider-Man.
and then the
Sea monsters.
Loch
Whale
Ness
dicks.
Monster.
Whale dicks. We already talked about that conspiracy theory.
Loch Ness Monster.
that's just not correct. Fine, guys.
I don't have much more to talk about off the top of my head. I didn't prepare.
This is our
But I think that's like mainly what I wanted to talk about.
This is our non-prepared
Thing.
podcast.
Our unprepared, filmed a day late podcast.
Have you read Song of Achilles?
No.
No, not yet. My mom bought me the book for my birthday, but I haven't read it yet.
Bro, you so should. It's so sad. I literally sobbed.
This has been the Chocolate Sandwich Podcast.
What?
I'm dead never seen.
I'm Spider-Man. And now this is Charlie Simsicle.
And I'm Jay Schlatt.
And we
G Sharp.
And this isn't the Chocolate
That's what
Sandwich
you did
Podcast.
yesterday.
I lied.
You fucked it up.
No, you Jay Sharded your pants.
I did.
This has not been the Chocolate Sandwich Podcast. This has been the Slagcast. I'm Cha0tic
I thought you were
Zone.
gonna say Slime Cat.
I'm Cha0tic Zone.
I'm Gray.
I'm Ultra.
And I hope you've been entertaining enough for you. I think I said you've been entertaining enough for you. You might as well have been. I don't think we were very entertaining. We hope we've been entertaining enough for you. We have an email for feedback and suggestions. Gray's editing, so Gray can put it on the screen.
Yeah! I wanted to like put my hand in your hair, but I felt like I'd know.
Spider-Man!
You're not Midas. You can't turn me to gold.
I wasn't gonna turn you to gold. I wanted to go like.
I want to eat this.
Do you guys remember Austin and Allie?
This has nothing to do.
We're done. Cut the cameras.